It's the day before Thanksgiving. Many of you are traveling, and there is almost no news because most people who are working are traveling for Thanksgiving, as many of you should be. But that doesn't mean we can't still have fun because we do have news updates, and there is still some stuff to talk about. Like this story. Elon Musk tweeted, "There is a large graveyard filled with my enemies," and got mocked straight into next year. So Elon Musk basically threatens to kill people. It's an obvious joke. And what happened was there was a tweet. Doge designer says, try not to pick fights, but I try not to pick fights, but I do finish them. And then posted a picture of Elon Musk from the Joe Rogan podcast wielding a katana. Elon then replied, "There is a large graveyard filled with my enemies. I do not wish to add to it, but will if given no choice. Those who pick fights with me do so at their own peril, but maybe this is their lucky day." Okay, I guess the issue is people can't tell if the dude is joking or not. I think Elon Musk has a kind of nerdy tech bro persona about him. Some people would argue he has Asperger's or whatever, but dude, my immediate assumption is, homie be joking. It's a picture of him with a katana. And so Elon Musk makes the meme joke, makes the joke kind of like, while you were going on dates and drinking, I was studying the blade. But I'll give it up. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's kind of stupid to take this tweet seriously, but I absolutely love this news cycle. Like, why is the immediate assumption that Elon is literally saying he's going to kill people? People are so dumb. So here's the tweet. I tried to pick fights, but I do finish them, says Elon. And then you have there's a large graveyard. Dave Lee responds, "Just avoid stabbing your own leg too many times." And he says, "Oh yeah, I forgot to add that I am my own worst enemy by far. No need for others to dig my grave when I'm doing it so well myself. LMAO." Like, dude is clearly joking. Welcome to boredom, I guess. People on the internet. I don't know, man. This is the modern era of the internet, okay? I had a tweet where I said, raise the voting age to 30, which here's the funny thing about Twitter, or I should say X. Like, you know, we call it X, but dude, it's still twitter.com. So I don't know what you want me to do about it. But I tweet that, and David Hogg is like, when your policies are so bad, you've got to change the voting age to stop people. And I'm just like, dude, what policies are you talking about, David Hogg? Like, you don't even know who I am. Well, I don't know, maybe he does, whatever. But like, what policies were you referring to? What was I? Because a lot of my tweets are derivative from this morning show or from Timcast IRL, in which there are specific references to things. And so when I say raise the voting age, I'm referring to like someone making a joke or whatever. And, if you don't get the context, that's fine. The funny thing is, David Hogg has previously called for lowering the voting age. So, dude, that's a big L. More importantly, I've also tweeted raise the voting age to 42, like quite literally right after that one. And ban voting. I tweeted that. And babies should vote. That was my favorite. That was a while ago. I said babies should vote. And yeah, so welcome to the internet, my friends. But let's talk about the latest updates on what's going on with the war for the internet. While Elon Musk may be threatening to murder people, we've got the corporate press running stories like this. And here's the interesting thing. The Anti-Defamation League is defending Elon Musk. Still, here, this is strange. Media Matters claims Elon Musk is anti-Semitic. The Anti-Defamation League, which is run by, Greenblatt, who is Jewish, is praising Elon Musk for his defense of certain ideas. Notably, the far leftists are saying decolonize and things like this, and Israel's an apartheid state. Elon Musk tweeted, decolonize is effectively a call for genocide. It is, and thus it's not allowed on the platform. Well, okay, I don't know. I mean, these are your rules, leftist. You demanded these rules, and now you're crying, but my free speech. Yeah, okay, dude. Look, you can't claim that violent extremist rhetoric and hate speech should be banned, and then when you get banned, you come crying about it. That's just the way things are. But the ADL is actually defending Elon Musk, which is interesting. First, let's go through this story from NBC News. With X under fire, Elon Musk digs in and finds support from conservatives. As more advertisers say they are pausing ad buys on the platform, Musk has only escalated his rhetoric, posting about a large graveyard filled with my enemies. Dude, I love this timeline. I just want to say, last night we had the guys from Angel Studios on. I'm a huge fan. Sound of Freedom was massive. We're winning the culture war, baby. And they were talking about After Death, their new documentary. And one of the components of it, they basically have all these people who died who died and came back. And many of them say there was a life evaluation. Now, that's crazy. Because, like, why would the higher powers, if you died, be like, well, let's go through your life evaluation. Oh, what's that? You're being resuscitated? Oh, okay. But nonetheless, it makes me very interested about the reality that we are in. Some would say it's a simulation. Some would say it's a construct of sorts. Or maybe we think of things like video games and evaluations because they're derivative. They are reductive or subsidiary, if you know what I mean. Like, reality is in very much like a video game, in that there may be a life evaluation. At the end of the game, you get your score tallied or whatever. But that is because the things we have in this world, this reality, are derivative of the great beyond. You see what I'm saying? In which case, it is not absurd at all to believe that when you die, your life will be evaluated. And I hope you're proud of the life you've lived. And that doesn't mean you need to be rich or Elon Musk. It means you just need to be a good person. Do your best, be a good person, and be proud of the things you've done. Because we know deep down within us whether or not we're proud or not. What's funny is they say pride's a sin, but not that kind. What I mean to say is, you know when you've done wrong. You do. It's fascinating because even outside of cultural contexts, people know when they've done wrong. It weighs on them. It burns a hole in their conscience. And so I feel like each and everybody has that within them. I don't care who you are. They know. And some people get tainted by darkness and they just keep pushing away the light, but they still know. I genuinely believe that. So here we go. NBC News. They're basically saying Elon's threatening to kill people. I'm kidding. I mean, they're technically saying that. Boasting about a graveyard of his enemies. I love this timeline. They say that blah, blah, blah. Paris Hilton's 1111 Media also pulled an advertising campaign due to concerns about antisemitism and pro-Nazi content. It's just all lies. It's all lies. Fox Sports and Ubisoft said they were pausing ad campaigns. Yeah. More garbage. I got something for you, my friends. Let me tell you a secret. Okay, so there's a thing called AdWords, or Google Ads, I think it's called now. Here's a secret. Any person, anyone, can take any video from YouTube and run it as an advertisement on any other video. Let me repeat that for you. Break it down. Any person, that means you, can log into your Google Ads account. You might have to activate it or something. You can go to Coca-Cola's YouTube channel, take any one of their videos, Happy Fat Santa drinking an ice cold high fructose corn syrup slushy, and you can create an ad on Google Ads, and you can type in, here's my ad, link to Coca-Cola. I want to stress this. And I've talked about this before, and it's never changed. It's crazy. You can then say, where do you want your ad to appear? And you can say, I want it to appear on nothing but pro-Trump stuff and anti-immigration and anti-LGBT. And then people will go on Google and they'll click a video like, immigration bad, and the Coke ad will play. And as far as anyone's concerned, it looks like Coca-Cola made this campaign. So when they talk about, why did my ad appear next to this, that, or otherwise? I got to be honest. I'm pretty sure all of these networks do similar things, but get this. On Twitter, to run an ad, you have to have access to the account, which is fascinating. Not on Google. That's crazy. On Facebook, but not on Google. So when they come after Elon and they're like, oh, heavens me, let's just be real. Facebook has tons of anti-Semitism. So does YouTube. But why are they targeting X, Twitter, Elon Musk? Because this is a guy who will not bend the knee to the deep state, because he leaked information exposing government collusion. This is what is going on. This can be stopped right now if the members of the Weaponization Committee, the GOP, actually start filing subpoenas saying, based on the information released, this looks like it may be government coordinated. So let's go, baby. And if they find coordination between the federal government, which they probably will, because we know it already exists, and these big tech companies, you've got some explaining to do. Disney, Apple, IBM, etc. Check this out. We have this from MSNBC. Anti-Defamation League's leader has curious praise for Elon Musk. It's from yesterday. Does he? He said this. Elon Musk tweeted, as I said earlier this week, decolonization from the river to the sea and similar euphemisms necessarily imply genocide. Clear calls for extreme violence are against our terms of service and will result in suspension. Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL said this is an important and welcome move by Elon Musk. I appreciate this leadership in fighting hate. I got to be honest. I agree. I'm sick of the left. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the manipulations. Israel-Palestine is a whole crazy thing, and I ain't no expert. But we see these posts from the pro-Palestine side, and they're like, did you know that in this area, Palestinians aren't allowed to walk around? They're second-class citizens. And then what do we get? Another photo posted by Israel saying, here's a sign that quite literally says Israelis are not allowed to enter certain areas. I'm like, dude, y'all have got a deeply rooted generational conflict. And just because one side is more powerful does not mean they're inherently wrong. I'm not going to sit here and play politics in a conflict where people are killing each other. I can say this, as of October 7th, Hamas is the one who started it. But let's talk about the American domestic policy, because I give you one answer to Israel-Palestine. I don't care. Do what you want. I'm not kidding. I don't care. Do what you want. Now, hold on. Civilians dying is bad. Be it Myanmar, be it Azerbaijan, be it Sudan, be it Nigeria, it's all bad. I want all of it to stop. But you know what? I am not a world policeman. The United States should not be the world police. I reject the liberal economic order garbage. The United States should mind its own effing business for the most part. I'm not an isolationist. I know this. When you say, hey, we shouldn't be bombing kids in foreign countries, they say you're an isolationist. No, I think we should be having strong trade agreements. We should be negotiating with countries. And when they decide not to do business with us, we don't blow up their centrifuges or like go in and remove their leaders. I'm not all about that. You know, I'm about business and negotiation. I think we should shore up our border defense, control immigration better, bring jobs back, etc., etc. But here we are in this world, my friends. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. My point is this. Or I should say, the narrative is as such. We have these leftists, okay? So when I say Israel, Palestine, none of my business, back to the main point, American domestic policy. When far leftists say things, they're lying. There's a viral story right now. I actually don't know if I have it pulled up. I tweeted about it, where a professor said Hamas are all murderers and everyone should be killed. Everyone. And I'm like, okay, we know what he means. He's literally saying Hamas. What did they do? Far leftists removed that. So it's a clip of him walking up saying, you know, what's going on with you know, Israel, blah, blah, blah. Every one of them should be killed, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, wow. They want to make it seem like he's saying Palestinians. They're lying. These people are evil. So here I am finding myself somewhat in agreement with the ADL of all organizations. It's surprising because these people are liars too. They're very much aligned with these left on so many issues. But I'll tell you this. Decolonization means genocide. I'm not playing games. Have a nice day. From the river to the sea, I know what it means. And I am not interested in listening to your BS. Okay? Look, man. Hassan Piker's like, people are saying from the river to the sea, they're not saying, and kill all the Jews. Dude, I just don't want to hear it. All right, look, you want to make your arguments about the history of Israel, Palestine? By all means. You want to make an argument that Israel in 1948 or Israel in 1967, make those arguments. But you know what? It's war. Why did the war start? They blame Israel. Israel blames Palestine. I don't care. Okay, man, I am in the United States. But when someone on the left praises Hamas, when these kids are chanting from the river to the sea, we can just break this down very, very simply. The first thing we know is the left engages in violence. Leftists do. They lie about the violence they engage in. They use euphemisms for the things they do. Self-defense when they beat cops or throw bottles or Molotov. Self-defense, they say, because they're liars. They change the definition of racism. Why? To suit their needs so that they can be racist. They say racism is prejudice plus power. Then they start getting as racist AF. Now let's talk about decolonization. Yeah, that means removal of the colonizers. Well, by all means, I would say anti-colonization or, you know, something like that, where we're well beyond the area where we think people should be moving into areas and taking them over by force. That being said, economically, look, China's engaging in colonization right now. China is having their citizens go places and build things up. It's not by force. It's through economics. From the river to the sea. Let's talk about these terms. Right now, you have the left saying the right of return. That was the protest several years ago. Palestinians want to return to the land that was theirs. I get it. I really do. I really do. Imagine if you lived in a house, your family owned it, and then, one day a group of people came in with guns and kicked you out, you would be like, I'm not giving up my claims here. 70 years later, you're old and you're telling your kids that belongs to you. It's your birthright. These kids are going to be like, we were pushed off our land. I get it. At a certain point, though, you've lost the war. Let's be real. At a certain point, you lose the war. I don't think Hamas is in any position or these people to have a right to return. I'm sorry. You can make every argument in the world, but the path towards peace will not be maintaining claims over land rights from 70 years ago. I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't. I mean, it's all basically 70 years ago. And I'm not saying it's right. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying the path to peace is not this way. If the border around Gaza was released, Will Chamberlain said it, and I agree with him, it would be the most brutal pogrom we've seen ever. Yeah, a lot of militants in Gaza would rush in and start seizing land and killing people, and it would be conflict and crisis. We are not getting peace this way. From the river to the sea, from the River Jordan to the Mediterranean, Palestine will be free. This means the removal of all Israeli institutions and structures. I don't mean physical structures. If Palestine is freed, these people think the entirety of it is Palestine, in which case all Israeli systems will be dismantled. There is no circumstance, realistically, where this means anything other than the majority of the people there will be imprisoned, killed, or treated as second-class citizens. I'm not interested in listening to this. So anyway, I digress. I'm not trying to get into an Israel-Palestine argument. I just think the left lies. Greenblatt is defending Elon Musk and even doubling down on his defense. I am deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest ish now about Western Jewish populace. This is a tweet someone made. Coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. These are continued. You want truth said to your face? There it is. Musk responded by saying you have said the actual truth. In a follow-up, Musk also went after the ADL, claiming the group unjustly attacks the majority of the West, despite the majority of the West supporting the Jewish people in Israel. Pressed over the exchange in an interview, Greenblatt said, "We're living in perilous times, and that's why it was so deeply problematic and dangerous when the owner of X validated an awful anti-Semitic theory to his 160 million followers. A day after, blah, 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 in a time when his anti-Semitism is exploding, he then praised Elon Musk, yada, yada, yada." Okay, you get the point. I think we can clarify. I think I can say this. Elon Musk, in my personal opinion, there are things you can do that are irresponsible, okay? This person, I think, was expressing an idea that was not expressed well enough. And that's fine. You're allowed to say it. I'm not saying this person shouldn't express their opinion. Elon Musk said you have said the actual truth. The problem with text communication is you're not getting a decent contextual explanation. I can't speak to who this guy is or what he was saying, okay? But I will say this. Many people on the left will, and like the ADL, will try to conflate voting patterns with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. There are conspiracy theories that Jewish people are trying to impose wokeness, blah, blah, blah. I despise all of that. That's stupid. I know way too many Jewish people and friends of the Timcast IRL who absolutely reject wokeness. I mean, 21.8%, I think, was the number of Timcast IRL guests who are Jewish. And we get roasted for it because it's 10 times the national average or something like that. And it's because they tend to be anti-woke and conservative. And so these people are interested in coming on the show and talking about this, or more libertarian leaning, or many of them are anti-intervention. Saying Jewish people are a monolith is completely wrong. What could be said is, take a look at this. From Jewish Virtual Library, when we look at voting patterns, we can see in 2020, it was over 2 to 1. Jewish voters, 68% supported Joe Biden and 30% supported Trump. When it came to Clinton, it was 71 for Clinton and 24 for Trump. When it came to Obama, 70% for Obama, 30 for Romney. We can see typically in the United States, the Jewish voting bloc leans Democratic. The source of this is the Jewish Virtual Library component of AICE, the American Israeli Cooperative Enterprise. If we're going to talk about ethnic groups and racial groups and gender-based groups based on their voting patterns, it is absolutely fair to say, on average, the voting patterns show that Jewish voters in the United States support Democrats and Democrat policies. And now many of them are coming to the hard realization that the politics they support is opposed to their politics. I don't see that as controversial. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a cabal of Jewish people. It's literally just voters. That's it. So if I were to say white liberals vote against their interests, that's true too. White liberals are the only group that supports the out group. Every other group has a minor bias towards the in group. So black Americans have a small bias in favor of the black community, Latinos, etc. White conservatives in favor of white conservatives, and liberals have a bias against white liberals and white people in general. Well, okay. I don't see that as being shockingly outrageous. This is what Elon is basically referring to. They're trying to claim he's an anti-Semite and they should pull all the ads, blah, 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 blah. I don't know about this guy and the ideas he's trying to convey. So let's be real. The idea that there are like Jewish cabals, I think is the stupidest thing ever. There are people who happen to have certain backgrounds who support certain politics. That's what matters. The things they do, not who they are. I despise it. There are trans people that we are friends with to come on the show and believe in free speech, reject child transitions and all of these things. And I don't care that you're trans. I don't care if you're LGBTQIA+. I care about, do we want to support a functioning society? And as a very liberal/libertarian type individual, if somebody wants to be trans, more power to you, baby. You can live, love, laugh, all that stuff. I don't want anyone to do anything mean to you or cause you harm. You should be able to do your thing. But there are certain things I don't accept. Civil rights protections based on your clothing? Now we're getting a little weird, okay? People, we're going to say, when a business says no shirt, no shoes, no service, someone says my religion requires I don't wear a shirt. Now I get to come in. It's like, okay, look, man, the line has to exist somewhere. But I suppose we can just wrap it up by saying this. It's a coordinated effort, obviously. Elon Musk is a rather silly guy. They're lying about him to cause harm to those of us who believe in free speech, and I believe it's likely a government effort. I believe they're misrepresenting what Elon Musk is actually saying, always, because that's what these woke people do. They take you out of context to steal power, to convince people to lie. But I think we've had enough. And I think the lies just don't matter. I think we're breaking through. I'll leave it there. I hope you're having fun traveling for Thanksgiving. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. Maybe. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay. Right now, with everyone traveling and it being a particularly slow news day, we may call it. I'm going to be completely honest. I did segments yesterday and IRL yesterday. And there's such little significant news. I don't want to force content for the sake of content. So should it come down to it's just a chill day and everyone's traveling for the holidays, then I'll probably just wrap it and then we'll get on the road and get to our families as well. But as I sit here this morning and I'm going through the latest updates, I do find this story worthy of a segment. Elon Musk saying there's larger graveyards full of his enemies is just too funny. But I don't know. We're aiming for 1 p.m. We'll see if we get there. And then there might not even be an IRL tonight, but we'll see. Thanks for hanging out. And we'll see you all when we see you.